thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Recorded live from western, northeast South Dakota. This is the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
That's a new thing I like to do, is say that something about western, northeast South Dakota at the beginning. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I like to do, is if I do something different, I like to talk about how...
really call attention to it.
Yeah. So everyone
we don't want
knows
anything to
sure.
slip by anyone here.
It's like a joke. Jokes can be kind of funny, but when you have to explain them, that's when they're really funny.
Yeah, that's when it really takes on a life of its own.
Right. So 247 this is, and we have ads for today's episode, thankfully.
Even better.
Today's episode is brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUD Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. And this episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method, your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our discount code MASS in all caps, MASS. That'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the entire life of the membership at hybridperformancemethod.com. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit them at texaspowerbars.com. And today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. We've got a discount code with them. It's MASS20, and that'll save you 20% off at checkout. And then also we've got... in the middle of the show for Lifting Large, we've got more exciting news to talk about them. They're basically their sponsored athlete. You've got the actual details, so we'll get into it better.
Keep listening.
Yeah, at the mid-roll, we got an exciting opportunity with Lifting Large, but that's exactly why you're not going to want to fast forward past the ads at the middle of the show today, because there's something that you can all take advantage of from liftinglarge.com. And that's our sponsors, and we're sticking to it. A bit of follow-up news, Tommy.
Yes.
You teased them last time on Pizza Ranch.
Yes.
So I thought maybe we should tell them a little bit about Pizza Ranch.
I'm glad you remembered.
Do you know, how many locations do you think there are for Pizza Ranch?
Ooh, I would say there's got to be... Is there 100?
About 200.
Really? Okay.
About 200 locations. Of course, primarily based in the Midwest.
Yep.
Do you know
Upper Midwest, even, I would probably say.
Upper Midwest, there are actually locations in Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised to see that. I can't remember how many states there was altogether. Started in Iowa.
Yep, I did know that.
Started in Iowa. We could get to menu items and that sort of thing. One other interesting fact, how do you think their Pizza Ranch business went for 2020? How do you think they fared in 2020?
Oh, I would assume not good.
Coronavirus,
with everything going on.
I
would assume not good, because if you know anything about Pizza Ranch, I don't know very many people that order Pizza Ranch. You go to Pizza Ranch because they have a buffet. That is why you get people like they have fried chicken and pizza, and different ones have some different things on the buffets too, but different dessert pizzas, a salad bar, ice cream, a cactus bread. Yes. So I would assume that their 2020 was not good.
2020, best year on record for Pizza Ranch.
It makes no sense to me. It does not make any sense to me.
That's at least what Wikipedia says.
I couldn't tell you the last time I heard of someone ordering a Pizza Ranch pizza.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I don't. I never have. Not only have I've eaten at Pizza Ranch many times. I've never ordered a pizza from Pizza Ranch.
I mean, when I was a kid, my parents probably did
Yeah.
once or twice, but I've never ordered one.
No.
Not that their pizza's bad, but
Their pizza is not that great though.
it's just,
Like I
yeah,
don't
it's
think
just, I don't think it's like awesome pizza.
You don't go to. It's funny. I don't think most people I know don't go to Pizza Ranch for the pizza. You go for the
kind of
whole
other
buffet.
stuff, yeah.
They
And
do
to
have
eat
good
like
fried. I do
to
think
eat
they
an
have good fried
insulting amount of
chicken.
food.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That's and their chicken is good. Yeah,
They do have good. Their chicken is better than their pizza is. I think.
I think that's a pretty fair statement.
But their cactus bread is good too. If
Cactus
you're a
bread
dessert
is-
pizza man,
Yeah, and the cactus bread is really where it's at. Right?
that is where it's at. That is.
I
where
mean,
it's
it's pretty good. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's pretty good.
It's really hard to leave Pizza Ranch and not feel disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you think is it even possible to go there and not feel disgusting? I mean,
if you
given
do-
I've done it many times, but
Yeah.
like you always leave feeling gross.
Yeah. And sometimes if you're lucky enough, you even
This is
leave
not
it-
a paid ad
you,
by
you even
Pizza
leave
Ranch.
and gross things happen to your body after you leave too. That's not unusual. It's kind of
Yeah.
a roll of the dice for how you're going to get out of there. It's,
Yeah, it is.
Tanner, this is making me thirsty though.
Oh,
All
it
this
is,
food talk.
yes.
So I'm actually just we're doing this is this is part 2 with last week. Tanner. It
Okay,
was so
yeah.
good. I had to get more of these.
We had to. Did you have to buy more?
I had to buy more.
Okay.
They were that good. Orange grapefruit.
Still is good.
It's different.
It might even be better than the first go around.
That is
It is
refreshing. I was actually, when you first said follow up, I thought you were going to say, I watched all of the John Wilson episodes.
No, I haven't seen that ad
but
actually.
you have been kind of busy, so
I'm not even exaggerating. I haven't essentially watched TV. Like I'm in really weird. First issue is I'm in really weird living conditions.
Yeah.
So I'm not like
yeah,
plopping
you live
down.
in South Dakota, Tanner.
I live in western northeast South Dakota. Very weird living conditions. Not many people do it for a reason. But I don't, not like sitting at home with my TV. So that's part of it. And then Massenomics has been very busy.
It has been.
My work has been pretty busy. And like personally, it's been pretty busy. So I'm not, and you know how some people like to be like, oh, I don't have time for
Yeah,
TV.
no, it's
Like want to stress that I'm not doing that because
Yeah.
I guess I just haven't had time, but I will again have time soon, and I do like to watch TV.
so. Tanner, you were talking there, and I had the gears spinning here.
Uh-huh.
The calendar is totally slipping away from my brain because I have also been incredibly busy
Yeah,
too.
right.
We were talking about this before the show. We both have a lot of shit going on right now. We spent a lot of last week's episode talking about the kind of fit, kind of fat drop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's the follow.
that item
yeah.
doesn't exist anymore. Like
It actually, by the time the podcast came out, it didn't exist.
yeah. So that was we're kind of bouncing over right now, but that
Yeah.
that shirt, we were hyping it up, talking about it, rightfully so. We were excited about it. I think it's a really cool shirt, and it was basically sold out in every size within like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like it didn't.
legitimately was it sold with a velocity that we've only seen on a few a handful of products that we've released. It sold so incredibly rapidly that we were overwhelmed by how fast it sold.
We
really
were shocked how quick
Yeah.
it went because like we thought it was cool and everything, but it's like, well, we're doing something with another company, and they also had an item that came out before us, so it's like I can see how people are like, and it's almost Christmas time, I don't need to get
Right.
anything. Like those were all scenarios we talked through. Like it'll sell, it'll definitely sell some shirts, but we don't know how many. And it was just like it was gone. It was
Yeah.
it existed
And
for
it's
mere
gone.
hours. Is how
and
long
it's gone.
Yeah. So it was really cool to see how quick those went. And before we talked about like this will probably be it. Like we'll just have these and sell them.
Yeah.
But the fact that it sold that fast and how many people were still asking for it,
We're getting
we're
doing
getting,
one more.
yeah, we are.
And this
getting
really
one more
is
order.
the
Yeah, and this is it. I'm thinking this one will last a little more than like 5 hours.
It should go.
but I don't know that for sure.
I would say if you want it, do not wait because also if you want it, go on the website and sign in for back in stock notifications because when we do release them back out, before we announce, say through Instagram, we're going to push out the back in stock notification emails. So
And that's
those
a little
people
tip for almost anyone that sees any of our products that they like.
Right. So you get we always push that out first. So it's like, these people took the time to like request to fill out the email. So they do get the first, maybe a couple hours of like knowing for sure that it's back in stock. So Deuce, if you really want that shirt, which a few people have messaged and they're pissed that they didn't get it. If you want it, sign up for that and be on the lookout. It'll come back, and we kind of got a rush order on that one even too. So
like hopefully like mid-January.
Yeah, I think we'll have it back by then.
But even the number of people buying like 2, 3, and 4 of a single size, like it just wiped sizes out when people are buying multiples of.
Somebody bought 5 of them. Somebody bought 5 of them.
Yeah, it was things that we don't normally see with our drops, but that was really, really cool. So we were very happy with how that turned out.
Yep.
And it was fun to watch those go.
It was. And so we were kind of coming off, like we're barely tapering off of our Black Friday sale. And then things have just been steady because it's like every company experiences this, I think, not even just our industry, it's the holiday rush. So things are busy. And then we go into this, and it's almost been like nonstop busy for a long time, which is awesome. I'm not complaining about that. It's that's what we want, but it just has been like a little bit more so than what we've experienced in other years. So that's pretty sweet.
It is. It's really cool. And I'm just trying to.
But no, so I didn't watch
John Wilson.
No, I didn't watch that.
Yes. Well, maybe next week when you have a bunch
and
of
I
time
haven't
on your
watched
hands,
The Wire yet.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Tanner, we do have something lifting related to discuss here.
Let's not get carried away with the lifting
stuff. It's going to be a quick one, so don't get Federation news.
Like the World Wrestling Federation?
Yes, they're back. No, the USAPL is announcing new divisions. And I'm not a USAPL buff, like history buff. I don't know. I've competed in the USAPL multiple times.
Yeah.
Because we're lucky enough to have a very good meat director in our area that puts on great meats. But I don't know the ins and the outs of everything that they got going on. But they have announced 4 new divisions. And I can't imagine this happens very often. Those 4 divisions: adaptive athlete, parabench, MX, and Raw with Wraps. And they announced this on their Instagram. And you say, oh, tell me more information. I can't because they didn't provide any context or turn on comments. So you have no idea what that's about. But they do have a website here, which we all know that if you're on Instagram, the best way to communicate with people is to put a link in the caption.
Right.
But I think probably the one that is more interesting for most people is probably Raw with Wraps.
Right.
And
I'm surprised that that's a thing.
I kind of am too a little bit.
Why do you want to divide up the talent pool into that like that?
And I don't know if they're doing.
I don't understand. Like, we don't know the details of it.
Yeah,
so.
and I don't know if they're doing like nationals for that. I thought I had read something that said. Okay, so adaptive athlete is for people that are unable to adhere 100% to the technical rules. So you might have an amputation or some elbow issue that stops from like a full lockout or things like that. So, good. Getting more people involved. That's always good.
Yep.
MX is for people that identify not as a male or female or they're...
What's MX mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really know.
Someone probably know. I just don't honestly know what that even like.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't know what literally is that like MFMX? Like, is MX a specific designation?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that there's a new category there. Okay, more people involved, always good. Parabench, sure, getting more people involved again. That's all good stuff. I always thought that kind of existed already.
Me too.
Didn't it?
I don't know. I thought so.
Maybe that. Maybe the Paralympics is different than
right.
I don't know. And then finally, Raw with Wraps, probably the one that affects the biggest number of people, I would assume, out of that list there. They can wear knee wraps that are in accordance with the technical rules. All the rules of Raw lifting will be in effect. Lifters can qualify to compete at open. that's equipped nationals, not raw nationals, if they meet or exceed the existing equipped category totals. There will be no separate raw with wraps division offered at equipped nationals. So it's like, it seems like, okay, you can do it, but there's not really a higher level. That's the way I'm reading that.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess what you're saying
it says
is
state and American records will be established, which, that alone is probably people like, ooh, I can set a record. Like, there's definitely people that are going to be jacked for that. But
that's the part to me. I'm like, why do we need that? Like, why does that need to exist? Why do we need those records for that? Like,
yeah, I mean, I get the fact that it's like, this is how pretty much every other federation does it. So they're going to have it now. But when they don't,
I think I liked something about the federation. I liked it. It's like, nope, we're wearing sleeves. That's what Raw is. If you wear wraps, you're in the equipped division.
Well, now this does open up more possibilities for trophies, though, Tanner.
But that's like what I'm saying. It's like, come on, we don't need like you had. I think you had something right by just saying like, and I'm not even saying that. I'm not saying sleeves is what is Raw. I'm not like that's what Raw is. I'm just saying like you had a federation that at least you had a line in the sand on something, and you're like, no, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, we kind of need to do that too because we're leaving.
Get those wraps.
Yeah, we're leaving 20 people out that really want to.
Probably can collect more money on the knee wrap. Well, no, they already have knee wraps
for equipped. Yeah. But so it would be still be a feeder for equipped nationals. But at that point, why wouldn't you just wear the
bench shirt and do the whole thing? It seems like I don't know. I guess people have options now. Mm-hmm. So you can think about that when you're getting ready for your 2021 training, meets, and all that good stuff.
When meets are a thing again.
When they are a thing again.
Well, there's not going to be everything going on once we hit 2021. Things will cease to go on.
We do got that going in our favor, right?
Yeah.
The ceasing of things. Tanner, so we were mentioning 2021. This is actually the last episode that comes out of 2020.
The last
So we will actually record one that catches the very end of 2020.
Okay.
But it won't come out until 2021.
Yep. Okay.
I should probably look at my calendar, actually make sure. I'm just kind of talking out of turn here, Tanner. I should probably verify what I'm saying. Yeah, this will come out on like the 28th. The next episode will come out on like the 4th.
So that we've wrapped up in the past. We've wrapped on the Massenomics podcast. We've wrapped up 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and now 2020. Or did we not start it? Did we start in 2017? We would have wrapped up 17, 18, 19, 20, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Something like that.
All I know is Tanner, I updated some of our YouTube channel art.
Oh yeah,
I was in there.
How old did it say? How old it was?
It was funny because on my computer I went to my Massenomics folder and I'm like, I don't know, I could see myself keeping this, and I typed YouTube and I had a YouTube folder for Massenomics dated 2015. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that is.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that is funny. We were pioneers.
Oh, it's crazy to think that Massenomics existed in 2015.
It did.
It seems like way too long ago for that to be a thing.
Right. So what did we get to in 2020 then?
So 2020, looking back, what
the Massenomics year in review, really,
the Massenomics year in review of 2020. And we were talking about this a little bit, and one of the biggest conversation pieces for anyone in this business is going to be the whole Arnold thing. And we've talked about that many times on the show. Yeah. So we probably don't need to go a lot in depth there, but just the very quick version of it is Arnold getting canceled like the day before we're going to leave. It really felt like, well, the year financially, the fiscal year for Massenomics isn't going to exist.
There was a point in time there where we were accepting the fact that the goals we had set out before 2020 started, there's no way we're going to hit them now.
No way. It was like this year will just be a fraction.
Yeah.
Like in the best case scenario, this year will be a fraction of what the year before was.
Right. Right.
Like it's just not going to happen. And then turns out that didn't matter at all. Like I actually think we sold more the weekend being home from the Arnold than we did last year at the Arnold.
Yeah, it was at least in the right ballpark.
Yeah,
like it was,
and not to say we don't want to go. Like we're
looking forward. And we've talked about it too. There's just so many other bonuses of other valuable things of being at the Arnold besides just the number of T-shirts we sell that day that we're at the Arnold. Or, those days that weekend.
Yeah, but that was really the start to the year.
Yeah,
and then from that it was like, okay, maybe there is something going on here. And for us, really, I would say, like, when I think about Massenomics, like, this was just such a year of, it's a dumb thing to say, but it's such a year of growth, like in, like, not just like sales, but like product. We have the most product we ever came out with ever this year
in 2020.
Yeah. A much wider variety of product too.
Yeah. Much wider variety.
Like different than, like, if you looked at what existed product wise pre 2020 and then just this year, like it's a,
like 8-bit things didn't exist prior to 2020. You know,
and I guess this Don't Curl Me was around in 2019, but just we came up with a lot of new stuff this year.
Yeah.
It went over pretty well. Like it went over really, really well.
Yeah.
And different products too, like not just apparel. We had some different drinkware items. We had the Almonia.
The Silly Pints was a big one. The Almonia, the collaboration that we just finished up here with Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat. All brand new stuff that we hadn't explored with prior to 2020.
Mm-hmm. So like that was cool. And then not even on the merchandise side, but like looking at the podcast, like the podcast went through like its 10th studio now. And
we also going through the COVID year. We learned to record remotely for months.
We did probably 8 weeks, maybe even 12 of remote recordings.
Yeah. So not that we prefer to do that, but we do have that in our back pocket.
It's an option. Yeah. That's what we said. We're like, if anything ever does happen, we now know that as long as we have the equipment at our houses, we just need to set aside an hour and we can always record a podcast.
Because
we know that's possible.
We have still never missed a week in now 247 weeks. So it is good to know that we have an ace in the hole of like preventing, because I would hate to miss a week at this. Like it would just be like such a blow to.
It would be
like, because I don't want to say, we've been going for 300 episodes, but there was 1 week we missed in there. You know, like that would be
like, wow, these guys can't commit to anything.
I knew they were gonna miss a week after their first 5 years.
Yeah. So the podcast was most recently here we've revamped the whole look, and it's a way more polished look than anything we've ever done in the past. It's actually really funny, Tanner. Before this, I was just looking at comments on YouTube from the previous week's episode, just to see like what the views or what people were saying.
Yeah,
I realized I hadn't checked on that since like the minute it was released, and then I actually hit the next button, on YouTube on your phone.
It went to a prior episode.
It seems like it would just go to the previous video.
Yeah,
but it jumped us to. I had to laugh. It jumped us to a video in Tyler's basement. You're wearing your work clothes with your shirt tucked in. You have your hair trimmed all nice.
Yeah.
I'm 30 pounds heavier. Tyler's there, and Tyler looks very different than what he looks now. That was pre-Europe, and now he's back from Europe. And like, it's like, oh man, how the world has changed in
all through the course of the Massenomics podcast.
Over that course of time.
Something I like to think about how it changes, and almost nobody would ever notice this because people don't listen to the podcast through our website, but you can listen to the podcast through our website. Yep. There's a page.
The audio file is embedded on the website.
And there's always we have the little excerpt. How do you say that word?
I say excerpt.
But
there's an X and a C and an ERPT.
That is a word I just say quickly.
Yeah.
That
it's
people know, and then like, did he say that right or not? He said it so quick.
The other one everyone messes up is etc. Okay. Everyone says etc. It's et cetera.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just like etc.
Yeah, exactly. It is etc. Yeah.
Okay.
Excerpt.
Yeah. It's like I don't know if he said it right, but he did it so quickly.
Exerting himself, or is there something?
Then at the bottom of it, there's always like a check out our store.
We're talking back on the website.
Back on the website thing. On each episode, there's a thing that says, hey, check out our store, subscribe to our newsletter, review the podcast, and then it says vote, like at the bottom, it says vote Massenomics for President 2020. Well, back when that was originally written, it said vote for Massenomics and President in 2016. Mm-hmm. Then it said vote for Massenomics and President 2020, but we had to switch that in like 2017. Now it says vote for Massenomics president in 2024. So to be curious to see how many presidential terms we can
it can outlive.
Yeah, because we're now in our Obama was president when we started the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Before
Yeah.
Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obama would have been.
And we had started by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama. Thanks for the Massenomics podcast,
is your
Obama.
fault.
Yeah. One other thing about the podcast this year, you talked about all the video stuff we redid in the studio, and that sign. I don't know if we don't talk about this neon sign near enough, probably.
We probably don't, actually.
But earlier in the year, we upgraded this audio equipment too, and this is something that on the listeners' end they don't notice a huge difference. But just for
actually though, you might.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If
The
you
quality is
like if
better.
you were listening
Yeah.
to one of these and then you went back to like episode 20, I think you would notice a difference.
Right.
Like even if you just on my phone, it's like, oh, it's a lot quieter and tinnier sounding and not quite as nice. So on a decent,
So there
sound
is
system, it
actually an
probably
audio
difference. There is, I think, an improvement, but
even a bigger difference, I think, is on our end of like the equipment that we have.
Yeah, just as far as us knowing what the hell's going on, because we had no idea. It was like, okay, we're recording. I hope this comes out when it's done.
Right.
And, there was a couple times, not many. There's a couple times that bit us in the butt before we put some money on this board here. But in conjunction with this new board, it opened up the avenues that we have with having interviews with people. And
Right.
And
that's what changed with the
that's
podcast.
a new direction for the podcast this year that didn't exist before.
Yep. So we've basically gone with at that because I think we started at 200. We're on 247 now. We've basically been doing a year of
God, that is crazy.
Call-in interviews. Close to it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's just it's so weird how because 4 weeks is a month. Like,
But are you aware that time flies when you're having fun?
apparently it does.
That's a good general rule.
Wow. Yeah. So it was overall a pretty awesome year for Massenomics.
Yeah. One other thing I was thinking that changed is our since we, I think in 2019 was the first year that we're like, oh, this is a company. Like we can continue to all do this stuff that's all fun, and also we could kind of maybe make money if we do this well. And then in 2020, it's like, yes, we can do that, and not like we figured that out. So it is more financially rewarding. But then the really plus side to that is, of course, we can buy this stuff like what we're talking about here. But then we've been able to. We gave away $500 for a contest
multiple times.
Yeah, yes, we gave away a Texas Power Bar. The Apple
Applebee's gift cards.
Yeah.
I mean, say no more.
We've made a billboard. But my point there, like the medium-sized check came around, all that stuff, like the financial freedom of just having a business that makes a little money. We get to do these fun things with the money
and
now.
Like we don't even have to think twice about it.
Right.
It's like, let's just do this and see what happens. Yeah, multiple video contests. Where people get to do all types of crazy things. Like, it's just given us a lot of opportunities that I think we've kind of always had these ideas, but we've just never been able to act on them.
Well, we don't have any money. We can't do those
and now
things.
we can start to act on some of these ideas. And we've said it before, but we have some big plans for 2021.
Big things are coming.
Big things are coming.
Big things are coming. And actually, that reminds me of the road to 300. There are now 276.
Really?
276.
We are officially in the road to 300.
Yes. So, is there a warning sound that's like...
we should probably find one here.
Yeah.
I think that's it, right?
That applies to everything. Yeah.
Close enough.
Okay.
Massenomics.
Yeah, there we go. So the road to 300 has officially, we're off the road to 300, and we're just straight up on the road to 300. And you all know what happens when we get to 300.
I mean, we don't even need to say.
No, we don't.
If you don't know, just go back and listen to some episodes from this spring, and you can get a taste of it.
It's gonna be this. If you thought last time was big, this time is gonna be big with a capital B.
Maybe even a capital ING too.
Yes, that's how big it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's gonna be good.
So, is that our year in review for Massenomics?
One other thing, we actually started doing Massenomics podcast supporting memberships.
We did.
We started accepting official friends of the podcast.
We started allowing people to be friends of the podcast.
Yes.
That was also one that was very surprising for us, that people would want to support this financially when you don't have to.
No. I mean, you won't be our friend.
You don't get to ever say you're a friend, but it has been pretty shocking actually to see the number of people that one, want to support us, and then two, support us at the levels they choose to, is always surprising. So yeah, for everyone that has become a supporting member, thank you. Thank you very much. It's that does mean a lot to us.
And for those of you that haven't, we still appreciate you, but maybe you want to consider it as
we
one of
just
these.
don't really.
Yeah, you're just not our friend.
Much. Like,
You're not. We're not friends with you, but
and for the people that are signed up, they do know there are some benefits that come with that. It is a friends with benefits relationship.
it is friends with benefits.
So for those of you that are not signed up, you might want to look into that. Massenomics.com/join.
Yep.
Should we hop into some ads here?
I think so, and then we'll get our guest on the
Now that
board.
we're done reminiscing.
Yep. That was 2020 in a nutshell.
Oh, this is
How did I get in this bloody nutshell?
You guys should see Tanner. It's not watching. Tanner is in a nutshell right now. Attention, strength athletes. Attention. Tanner,
you had me at attention.
Lifting Large is announcing the return of their Get Sponsored Like a Pro contest. I can see you're interested over there, Tanner. And yes, I will. Yes, I will tell you more.
Tell me more.
3 lucky female and 3 lucky male athletes will each receive gift certificates totaling $750 to spend on the Lifting Large website. I know what you're thinking, and yes, that is a lot of ground lock deadlift slippers, Tanner.
Especially if you're using Mass 20 at checkout. That's really a lot of ground lock deadlift.
And yes, you are correct to think that because it is a lot. In addition to ground lock deadlift slippers, though, each winner, or the ability to buy them,
a
each
whole bunch of them with $750 worth.
Each winner, they actually Lifting Large says they're always in stock. If every one of them bought all $750 worth of ground lock deadlift slippers, they might not be in stock anymore.
We might have to get all the winners on board with tying it just to test them and make sure that they're really always in
stay
stock.
True to their word there.
Yeah.
Each winner will also receive a Lifting Large. Our Lifting Large gear and lots of other goodies. The contest is open to any strength athlete anywhere in the world, not just America. The sponsorship term will be February 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. The winners will be chosen around the end of January, and the entry deadline is January 13th. So by the time you listen to this, you got about 2 weeks to get your act together.
Okay. 2 weeks.
Lifting Large will determine the 6 winners of the contest based on the entries received and the entrants' devotion to strength sports and their desire to excel and promote their respective sport. The winners will be judged not solely on the amount of weight lifted or their level of success in the sport. The winners will be also determined on their ability and willingness to represent Lifting Large for the year 2021. To learn more and to enter yourself, visit liftinglarge.com and click on the 2021 sponsorship contest button that you see on their homepage. The Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the SPUD Inc. dumbbell handle, or the cartoon dumbbell handles, as SPUD likes to call them. He calls them this because they can hold a ridiculous amount of weight. They can actually hold 525 pounds, Tanner.
That's it. That's nothing for me.
Yeah, you can't one arm row that. They are jacked for a simple dumbbell. For years, 200-pound dumbbells were about the heaviest available, and they were always awkward to press. With the new SPUD Inc. cartoon handle, a new level is here. We want to see you croc row that. The bar alone weighs 25 pounds and is 36 inches in length. The total weight loading area is 28 inches. The handle is well knurled, and the quality is much better than even the top bars out there. Shipping is also included in the price of this product. You know, with everything going on, Tanner, you can't assume anything shipping nowadays.
That's true. That is actually true.
Shipping is included. That is, unless you live in Alaska or Hawaii. It's not included then. So you guys don't count in this part of it. But you can check out the SPUD Inc. dumbbell handle online at spud-inc-straps.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. But he set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. Tanner, refresh my memory. I know I'm going to say this wrong. Who did we give the Texas Power Bar to?
Big Nate. It showed
Okay, it
up
was
too.
Nate. Okay,
Yes,
I was going
I'm
to
glad
say I was going to say Nate, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm mixing up. Okay, yes.
No, Matt won the medium-sized check.
Yes.
Nate
Okay,
won the
so
Texas
Nate,
Power Bar.
he said the bar has set numerous state, national, and Massenomics, or state, national, international, and Massenomics powerlifting records. He forgot to include world in that equation.
That's where he went wrong.
That is where he went wrong. But other than that, he was all right.
Still
on
good.
everything. Yeah,
But it did show up too. It didn't
did.
take too long
it
either.
did.
So we actually make good on our.
The bar looked really good. What was it? Is that just
It was the black zinc.
Oh, it was the black
Texas
zinc.
Power
Okay,
Bar
in the
with
picture he
chrome
had, I
sleeves.
thought it looked all chrome the whole way
No,
through.
yeah, it is black. Yep.
All right.
He asked why we decided to give him the black zinc, and because you also could get bare steel, and I said, we have black zinc at Massenomics Gym, so you get the that's what you got. And he goes, I got the full Massenomics experience
as seen in Massenomics Gym. Yeah. And this episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, that's MASS in all caps, for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. Thank you to our sponsors.
Should we get our guest on the horn for this episode now?
Our custom belt tailor.
Yes. We have our belt tailor on the
Our
phone.
belt guy is on the line.
Yes. And we're calling him now. Oh, good. It's ringing.
Hello,
Matt, is this you?
this is Matt.
Awesome. We're excited to have you on. This is Tanner and Tommy.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, man? How are y'all?
Good, great. So just to give you a quick introduction here, this is Matt. Don't call me Hadden of Pioneer Belts. I think people get your name wrong sometimes. You ever notice that?
My whole life, yes, sir.
Yeah. And I guess I should say of General Leathercraft Manufacturing and Pioneer both.
That's correct. Everybody knows us by Pioneer, so we'll just go with that.
Yep, fair enough. Out of Coleman, Texas.
The big metro area of Central Texas.
Okay.
Central Texas.
Yeah, okay. How big is Coleman, too? And it's not real big, is it?
4,500 people.
Okay.
What is your closest city?
All of the big metro areas like Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, they're all 150, 200 miles from here. Our biggest city that's close to us is Abilene. It's got about 100,000 people.
Okay.
That's big.
Yeah. So Matt, our Massenomics history with Pioneer goes back pretty far actually, and we hadn't been able to have you on the podcast yet, so we are excited to get you on here. But for those that haven't read it, there's actually an article out there that we put on our website, and it was back in I think probably early 2017. Does that sound right to you, Tommy? Something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier. Even.
Okay. It could be. And we did an interview with you, and we kind of did a story on the history of Pioneer belts. Can you remember back that far too, Matt?
Absolutely. I remember meeting you guys at the Arnold, and I think it was early 17, March 17.
Yeah.
That's so funny actually now, because it's like us writing an article.
When we don't do that anymore.
How the Massenomics world
Yeah.
has changed.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what to do at the time.
But what I would say, that is actually a cool article, and it's a kind of a cool
it's a really good one.
it's a cool article about the history of Pioneer, and I would imagine even if you read it now, it probably could be in some severe use of some updating and in how things have even changed in the last 3 or 4 years.
You know, it's been a pretty rapid pace in our neck of the woods. All of the history stuff still rings true though. So
Right. Yeah, and then we did get to meet you that was probably at the 2017 Arnold then, I suppose, right? Is that,
I think that was.
Yeah.
I think so.
And was that your last trip to the Arnold then?
I believe so. We went twice, and I think it was 16 and 17. So yeah, probably so.
Okay. So a lot has changed with Pioneer over that period of time. Like, one thing that I was thinking of wanting to ask you about is you got into, I don't know what the right word is, but backing meets or kind of organizing meets or getting more involved directly into meets. How has that process gone? Have you enjoyed that?
Yeah, so we did that tribute a couple of years, and then we did the Pioneer Open this year, and we'll do that again next year. I mean, we've always tried to support. I have this saying that I actually truly believe: supporting those who support us, and just giving back to the people that that buy our stuff and are make it everything that we do possible, really monetarily. So it only made sense. I remember the U.S. Open with those big money meets, and I knew the powerlifters spend so much time and effort and money to hone their craft. They needed some sort of monetary outlet and not just a trophy at the end of the deal. So it fit. It felt right. Those meets all have ran well so far, thanks to Bobby Morgan, USPA Texas mostly. But this year we're going to do, hopefully, 2021, we're going to do a strongman event too, and try to give back to the people in the strongman
Right on.
realm and show some love there.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I'm sure you guys will have no problem filling that roster up.
I hope not. I'm going to throw at least 10,000 at them. Hopefully we can afford it. Craziness going on, but we'll throw some money there and throw some money at the Pioneer Open, and I don't go out and but try to find sponsors anymore. That was one of the biggest things of the tribute that I didn't like so much was being told no. No, we don't have no, we can't do this, we can't do that, and I just said, well, screw it, and we'll just do our own. And if anybody wants to join, they can, but I'm not going to go out and hunt them down. So
yeah. And that part turns into like almost more work than anything, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's disheartening because, if your heart is in the right place, all I'm trying to do is get more money back to the lifters and the companies that, for a long, I still respect them now, but if they just flat out said, no, we can't give you $500. I'm like, either you're struggling or you just don't like what we got going on here.
Right.
And, one of them I understand the struggle, but not liking trying to give back doesn't really sit well. And you can't really differentiate. You can't tell which one's which. So me being the pessimist I am, I'm thinking these guys.
Yeah. Right. What another big change I was thinking about, and maybe this is all 2020. I don't know if it's been the last couple of years, but most recently you just did the adjustable lever belt. But even the Pioneer Cut is pretty new. Certainly not something that was even on the horizon at the time we talked to you back in 2017. Like, it's just funny, like what you even said back then. The quote, like, how much more can you do with a belt, or you'll know the quote, but like, what else can really be done with a belt? And here you've come out with these things you wouldn't even thought about it 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's probably a huge part of what you've got going on there.
In the Pioneer Cut, I think, I don't know if it really put us on the map. I think the customizations did that, but everybody started to realize how legitimate it was once a couple of people got it in their hands, and they were like, "Holy shit, this actually makes a big difference." It wasn't just a placebo or a ploy for sales. The Pioneer Cut wasn't. No, in 2017 we had no idea. I think that came out. It would have been in late 2018, I guess.
Okay.
COVID is pushed back our patent pending, so it's still pending. I haven't heard back from the patent office on that. And then the adjustable lever, the idea has always kind of been there. Everybody that's used the old lever that everybody's had used for the last 20 years, Enzer, I think, patented it a long time ago. There's always been gripes about having to use a screwdriver, this the same 1-inch spacings and not being able to get a perfect fit. And then, SPUD they came out with their version that they eliminated the screwdriver, but everything was still set at 1 inch. So that kind of lit a fire. I got a hold of a couple of different engineers, gave them an idea that I wanted to, retrofit. I wanted a lever closing mechanism that would retrofit with all of the existing belts that have been on the market for 30 years. So nobody had to spend $250 on a new belt.
Right.
If they just wanted the lever. And I was actually pretty vocal about that with SPUD. I thought that they did a great job doing what they did. I mean, I think that lever serves its purpose, but they left a lot to be desired. Well, not really that. They just made it to where everybody had to buy a new belt, and that's not really what they wanted to do. They just wanted the lever.
And it wasn't in a super affordable belt either. Like
right,
it was.
Right.
I think when it first came out, it was like $270 or $240.
Yeah, it was not cheap.
It's slightly lower now at like $210. But it's still pretty expensive for really all they want is the buckle.
Yeah. And so I think what's so awesome about both of those ideas, like it seems like every good invention, it's like after it's done, it's like, well, it's so obvious. Why didn't I think about that? And like both of those, I feel like fit that so well, but they work so good too. And we have
a whole bunch of Pioneer Cut belts at our gym
Pioneer
now.
Cut belts.
Yeah.
And like now that those are on the rack, it seems like those are the only ones that anyone ever grabs. Like the other ones they're all awesome belts, but like everyone just wants the Pioneer Cut because it's so nice to have that extra adjustment.
Single prongs and double prongs are obsolete.
Yeah.
Now they're really just there's no reason for a single prong anymore. You know what I mean? I mean it's just it doesn't offer anything. It offers less than what the Pioneer Cut
Right.
does.
Why would you not get the Pioneer Cut one? I mean, why would you not? I don't know what the rationale would be behind that.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
just old school, I guess.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
taking a stand.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And it's funny, even like mentally when that was new, it looked weird. It looked different to me when I saw that. I'm like, that I haven't seen that before. And now
It's
that's
like,
what
that's
I look
what a
at.
belt looks like.
Yeah, that's
like
what it in my brain has been like trained to like. That's the default of what a prong belt looks like to me now.
Even in our shop, we do, for all of the power belts that we do, I would venture to say that 85 to 90% of them are Pioneer Cuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
The massive majority. Some of our wholesale customers still do single prongs, but I don't know why. I think it's just cheap. There is an upcharge for the Pioneer Cut, and that's probably why some of those wholesalers, they're just trying to go with the least expensive options to be able to make their margins.
and like from our perspective, it seemed like it was pretty quick, but was it actually a quick adoption for people to get on board with it?
Yeah. So I'm going to set the record. I don't know. I mean, I've said this several times. I don't know if you guys know, but the idea wasn't born in my brain. Steve Strom, I think it was a Starting Strength forum, or maybe Exodus Strength. Anyways, he reached out to me out of the blue. I didn't know Steve at the time. He sent me a drawing. Was like, hey man, I don't really like how my belt fits me right now. Sometimes it fits great. Sometimes it doesn't fit very good. It's either too tight or too loose. And here's an idea. Why don't you take your staggered hole or your inline 9 holes and offset another inline 9 holes and see if that works. Well, it ended up really working well. I mean, the way our dies are made, all of those holes are punched at the same time. They're not like, we don't measure them all out and punch them all by hand, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I offset it off center, punched those holes, and then I just kind of manipulated that cutting die a little bit and punched another set of holes, and it worked out great. It was literally the first one. It's actually in my office. And then we notched out the prong so that it could slide up and down the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And it just worked really well. So when I got that, Steve was super happy with it. I shot a video, put it on Instagram, and seriously, like in 10 minutes, we had like 20,000 views and several hundred comments. And I got a hold of Steve. I was like, look, this is a big deal. I'm going to take this shit down. We got to get it patented.
Yeah.
So we took it off of social media. We tried to delete it everywhere. At that time, I'm sure it was shared, multiple times.
Right.
But we went through the patent process, got it back up on social media, and it sold really well. And I think for the most part, I think a lot of people looked at it like you guys did, like, well, that makes sense. Why the shit has that out forever? And us too. I mean, we've been around for 40 years. My grandfather and father and myself. I mean, we looked at belts all day for years and years and years, and nobody thought of it. And an outside guy did, and it just worked out really well. Once we got the patent on there, we got it up on the website. We gave it to a couple of our, a couple of my friends, really, which are big name powerlifters, and they loved it. And when they love it, they shout it out to their bunches of people that follow them, and social media works like that. So it's pretty rapid, I would say.
Yeah. And you did bring up an interesting point there, is that I think compared to a lot of companies in this space, everyone does have an Instagram presence, but a lot of them feel probably more corporate, where you're very like, oh, it's Matt. Like you're kind of chilling with Matt, or you're getting the update on what's going on at the floor at Pioneer.
Right.
What's kind of been your approach with Instagram through the years?
So I don't want to, I'm not that smart. Like I didn't come into this thing and be like, this is what needs to happen. Everybody else is, they make them out, these little small companies are made out to be like Walmarts and, these big corporate places like you're talking about. And I didn't think of it like that. I wanted social media to be able to not necessarily meet people, meet them online, but get to know them. I wanted to utilize that platform to get feedback on products. And still, I don't run it different today than I did when we first started. It's just me. It was kind of my personal / business account. And now it's mostly business, but there's still a lot of who I am and who we are as a team on there too. I love that. I think our followers love that. A majority of them, I think. They've kind of grown up. Shit. I mean, I think when I first started, two of my kids weren't born. The twins were super young. And hell, when we like the Pioneer Open, we had all the kids out, and it seems like everybody even knew their names and would come up and say hi to the kids. And I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah. And it does seem to I think exactly what you're saying. It does seem to be working because it's a little different than, say, what your competitors are doing.
Yeah, I mean, but they're just super business oriented.
Right.
All the other ones do just feel like it's like a marketing team. Like, okay, we got to do this. Go get the guys in marketing to do it. And like, they're all super polished and slick and nice, but it is a very different vibe than what you have going on.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's not by design. That's just who I am and how I run the company. Really. I mean, it's just, those videos and shit that we put on there. We have fun with it. I try to have fun with it. It's engaging. People, I think, respond a little bit better when you're like that.
Yeah.
I'll throw like a serious business type post out there with a caption that is, down to business, and it doesn't get near the reaction as some silly belt with a funny caption on there. I mean, I could just post a belt, line out exactly what it is and how to order it, how much it costs, and I just don't think it wouldn't work with our people now, our followers.
Yeah, people like to be entertained. We talk about with Massenomics all the time. It's like there is a spot for that serious stuff, but people do like to hop on social media and be entertained at the end of the day.
Well, it's an escape from reality. I mean, I think that's what I think a lot of people utilize social media for. Is you get on there, you get bombarded with shit news and a bunch of other stuff that's really stupid, but some of it's funny. And that couple of seconds you're sitting there with a big smile on your face kind of makes you feel good. And after a bad day at work, you get on TikTok or Instagram and feel good. I mean, of course you're going to come back and keep doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen any of your competitors since the advent of the Pioneer Cut or your adjustable lever? Have you seen anyone come out with anything that like a response to that or their version? Or like, I honestly don't even know. Is there anything out there, or has anyone done something that has anyone tried to rip it off? Have you seen that at all?
Chinese, Pakistan, which is to be expected. I mean, when we did that patent, we don't have a worldwide patent, and even if we did, China and Pakistan would still rip it off. I've always been super critical, especially of the Pakistani fitness market. I mean, if you go on like Alibaba or whatever those websites are, you literally see the pictures that I've posted in the past or even recent pictures, and they'll put a price on their, their version of that belt. It's like, $6 or $8. And I don't think the quality's there for $8. Right. I might even buy a buckle for $8. I can't imagine the full belt would look like an $8. But yeah, we see some copycats here and there. I think I got tagged in a post the other day from Korea. So there's going to be copycats. If we get the patent, the United States market will be protected, which that's our bread and butter. We do ship to a bunch of other countries, and we love all those other countries. We won't be really protected.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about your local competitors? Do you get along with all those guys, or how do you feel about them?
I have no quarrels with anybody. I mean, Inzer and Titan are both here in Texas.
Okay.
They're both, they're definitely major competitors of ours. John, back in, right when I first started, we would buy levers from him. He would buy levers from us. If somebody needed buckles, we would get with each other and we would, share buckle inventory if we couldn't find them somewhere else. I've never done any business with Pete down at Inzer. I have high praises for their product. I think both competitors make a good product. I mean, the only thing that I think you could probably say that I've ever been critical on anybody was that YouTube video that I did where I dissected everybody's. But
that's a great video too. I love that. That was awesome.
I didn't try to be negative to anybody.
And it didn't come across. It came across as very open. I think, like just very. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I wanted it. And I was careful about that too, because I didn't want to sit there and bash anybody. Because honestly, if you're buying an American-made good, as long as you can tell that whoever's making it is doing it the right way, I'm all about it. You don't have to buy it from Pioneer. You don't have to buy it from us. It's just I'm a big fan of supporting American-made stuff, and I would hate to see either one of those two go out of business through COVID or lack of sales or whatever the case may be. I respect both of them for sure. There's some other smaller guys that are kind of shit talkers, but outside of a few instances, those two are the only ones I really ever kind of keep up with.
Yeah,
it is kind of crazy that you guys are all in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. I mean, Inzer's down Inzer's over in East Texas in Tyler, Longview area, and I think Titan's down in Corpus. It's down by the coast somewhere. And it's just the way it's been, I guess. I know Inzer came around in if I'm not mistaken, early 80s. Titan, I'm not real sure when Titan came around. They've been around for a while, though.
Yeah, it must be something in the water down there.
I know that when we first moved to Texas, our manufacturing was in El Paso, and we had a lot of day laborers, I believe, from Juarez. I don't know how all that worked. I haven't really talked to Dad much in depth about that, but I do know that we had a couple of guys that moved to Coleman from El Paso. One of them was Luis. One of them was Albert. A couple of day laborers that got their green cards and moved over to Coleman with us, and they were with us for a long, long time before they moved back and missed their family. I think moved back to Mexico. So, but East Texas, I don't think they're having day laborers. That's a pretty good drive from over there.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Do
you got? What about I know you've touched on it several times over the years, but people it's always a little controversial, or people like to hear about it. Is I don't know that you've talked about it for a while recently, but the IPF fees for your belt. Just touch on that again, like what your stance is on that and how you land at that.
So we're going to go with a non-super business-like comment here. I think it's bullshit, honestly. I don't know how anybody can stomach spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on a list to sell to I think I have the exact number. It was just over 10,000 registered lifters in the IPF worldwide.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense. And I know that they're some sort of parental figure in the powerlifting federation world. But with USAPL allowing for lifters to use belts, wraps, singlet, all of the stuff that's on the IPF list for their, local, state, regional level meets. I mean, that's most of the lifters in the USAPL anyways.
Yep.
So I couldn't stomach it. $190,000 is what they asked for over 4 years. And
man,
could I have afforded it? I mean, we probably could have taken the chance and afforded it, but I didn't. That money wasn't going back to the lifters. I don't know where the hell that money was going. There was like a $50,000 mandatory sponsorship fee, and I tried pretty damn hard to go back and forth with these guys and like, look, I'll give you more money than that, but you're not going to tell me that I have to give you $50,000, because what if shit hits the fan and we don't have $50,000 to give you?
right.
I'm not just going to give that to you right up front and start doing all of your advertising work for you, because we've got a decent following, and all of the companies that are involved in the IPF have a decent following, and they're getting paid to have other people advertise for them, because you have to have stickers on all of your products, and you have to say that it's IPF approved on all of your websites and all this crap. And I think the IPF, brilliant. People that support the IPF, companies that support the IPF, I don't know if that's terribly brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So when I first started, I think it was in 2016, they opened up submissions. Maybe it was 18. Maybe hell, it was going to be 14. So 14, they opened up submissions. It was going to be $35,000 for 4 years, from 14 to 18, I believe. And at that time, $35,000 was out of touch. There's no chance we could have afforded to try. And then just fast forward to 2018, and they jumped it up to 190,000. So you can do the math. I mean, the
inflation, right?
Yeah, it was so much. I think if it jumps that same amount again, we're talking $500,000.
Yeah.
And I will laugh, and I will post it on social media, and I will expose how stupid that number is, that they can't do that. Honestly, I'm kind of upset with the USPA for just charging $750.
Yeah.
That's not that big of a deal. We throw it out there, and I support the USPA for it, because I know there's a little bit of administrative work to make sure that the wraps that are going to be approved are actually approved. But it almost feels like, from my perspective, that we're paying for the meet directors and the head judges and everybody to just not have to do the work. So we're paying them to do less work, when, all they have to do is have a tape measure out,
Right.
and
Right.
lay those wraps out, a gear check, and make sure that they're to length or to width. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's more work on the meet directors, and I'm all about it. If the product fits the bill, if it's in specs, I think it should be allowed. I don't think you should have to pay for that allowance. It just hurts the lifters. If say you're all decked out in SPUD gear, you spent $600 in gear, and they drop their IPF approval. Well, now they got to go out and spend another $600 on somebody else that spent a bunch of money to be an IPF approved vendor.
Yeah. Not ideal. That's for sure.
Oh. Matt, we always play this little game with everyone that's a guest on the podcast. It's called Overrated or Underrated. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but we were hoping you'd be willing to play it here with us again today.
On your stories, I do it every time I see it.
All right, perfect. We always like when that's the answer. So we've got a special Pioneer version of topics for today, and you've got your druthers to answer overrated or underrated, but you have to pick one or the other. You can't ride the middle. You've got to come up with an answer one side or the other, and you get to elaborate as much or as little as you want to.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Okay. Topic number 1, overrated or underrated? Copenhagen.
Underrated. There's not a better smokeless tobacco out there.
That's fair. What kind what do you use if you're having a dip of cope?
Long cut.
Okay.
It's called long cut. I don't know what it is. No flavor. I can't do flavor. It burns my mouth too bad.
Okay. So no Skull, or I don't even know what that
Grizzly wintergreen.
Yeah, Grizzly. Yeah.
That's for weenies.
Okay, so Copenhagen underrated. Overrated or underrated? Patent leather.
Overrated. It's shiny. It looks fake.
It does look fake though, doesn't it?
Look fake, yeah.
Do you know how they actually? How is it? Like, have you ever done a patent leather belt before?
We've been asked for shiny leather. It's just a finish. It's a chrome tanned, usually. It's super inexpensive, with a super shiny lacquer almost over the top of it. It doesn't fit what the application. It's perfect for certain applications, but not for lifting belts.
Like Jordan 11s and dress shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Overrated or underrated? Big Bertha drivers.
Ooh. Now, are we talking Big Bertha or are we talking Callaway? Because Callaway drivers are pretty damn good now.
Well,
Big Bertha has been around for a while.
I think we got to. Do they still make the Big Bertha though, or is that done?
I think they came out with a version a couple of years ago, but it's been out for a while.
So we want to say like the late 90s Big Bertha driver.
Underrated. Those were awesome. They were top of the line. They were forefront in technology back then.
I feel like they really had the marketing side behind them on that.
They were badass. They're for sure underrated.
Did you have one in your golf bag?
At least one. I probably over my years, I probably had 3 or 4 of them. I switched to Titleist when I got into high school, and I was Titleist all the way up until I bought a Callaway. Hell, it may have been a Big Bertha. I don't have it here in my office or in my shop, but I bought one several years ago, and now I have a custom one.
Okay. Yeah, because for anyone that doesn't know, you're very serious into golfing at one point.
It was the only thing I was good at for a long time.
And then you learned how to make belts.
Yep. Now that's what I'm good at.
Okay. So overrated or underrated? You're a Texas man. We know barbecue's big down there and everything, but overrated or underrated? Brisket.
Ooh. Good brisket's underrated, but there's some shitty brisket too. So I'm going to say underrated. Brisket's good.
That's what we were talking before. This is like brisket is one of those things that everyone's like, yeah, brisket's good, but there's some people that they mess up brisket.
Sometimes it can be pretty tough. I've had some pretty tough ones before.
Yeah, it's going to be, Texas kind of known for that barbecue. So if you go to Lockhart, there's several different brisket places or barbecue places, and all of them are really, really good.
Yeah.
It's a good brisket, though.
So you did say underrated.
Underrated.
Okay. Well, great news, Matt. You passed the game. You passed with flying colors, actually. So really great news. One other thing I was thinking that I had meant to ask and I didn't hear was, you said the custom belts were kind of a game changer, and then the Pioneer Cut was a game changer. Do you, at this point in time, have your next big idea?
Any more game changers up your sleeve?
Right. Like, have you thought of the next one yet?
We've got to do some work internally. I think we're calling it the Beltonator 9000, which is just it's an augmented reality kind of a digital mock-up of a belt. It's kind of a build designer for the website. So over the years, everybody asks, hey, can I see a mock-up of my belt before it gets made to make sure that I'll like it? And I never had that capabilities. Well, we're 90% done. I'm hoping for an early to mid next month release of this augmented reality little thing on our website where you'll be able to pick a belt, choose the colors, get your embroidery on there, and actually see it before you buy it, which I think it's going to help a lot of people out. now that we're, getting into strongman advertising and doing some stuff in there, I've been asked multiple times that it needs to happen is stone sleeves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just sleeves in general. People have asked, and I've toyed and tried for years and years off and on to get a good neoprene sleeve to compete with, Slingshot and SPD and some of the others. So those are still on the forefront of my brain. I just have to have the resources and the time to develop something. And I'm not going to come out with something if I don't think it's the best. So that's kind of where I've been. I've come up with a couple of different designs, and I wasn't comfortable putting them out there yet.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people love the custom belts, but I would just make a pitch for this. I really like that you started doing the stock.
Oh, those ones are awesome.
We've bought a pile of those for Massenomics Gym because I like to be able to have all the different sizes around and and
then when you put them on sale, they're really cheap.
They're really very affordable.
It's almost
for
like
what you
what's
get.
the catch?
Yeah.
So stock belts it was something that people started getting not upset, but you could tell they were not super happy with the 4, 6, 8 week lead times through the busy season, especially. So those things have done extremely well, and I do think it's probably due to price, but also the quick ship aspect. Stock belts have, honestly, through this busy season, it's been hard for us to keep them in stock. So I've actually broken up our team into 2 smaller teams. One of them handles stock belts and wholesale orders, and the other team handles retail stuff. So it's something that we're going to continue to do. It's something that we possibly can expand on. There's a couple of different, especially with the new PAL levers. I think once we get those onto the stock lever belts, we'll have a hard time keeping up with demand. So yeah, stock belts are awesome. Less than $100, especially when they're on sale. Discount codes and that kind of thing that happen from time to time. Guaranteed for life. Made with the same leather and the same processes. That's one question that always gets brought up. How come these are cheap and these other ones aren't? Well, it's because we can cut our costs down by doing a whole bunch of the same thing. Any manufacturer will tell you that. You're doing custom work, they all get babysat. You do a run of 50 of every size. You get them all cut at once. You get them all split at once, all glued, all sewn, all that stuff all done at once without having to change threads. And suede adds a lot of time. So we opted for no suede versions of these last 2 stock belts that we've been doing. And, I put them up there on sale at a price that we were comfortable with, and I thought the customers would be comfortable with, because the time to make them really, it's not that much. I could probably make one 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. And we can do, a couple hundred of them a day when we get the team on them. So.
Yeah, for sure.
And everyone should have one.
Yeah.
That's our pitch for them right now.
You should have like 4 or 5.
You should,
really,
you should have a rack of them like we do.
One other thing I wanted to make sure to say is you brought up, you do a really good job supporting the athletes with meets and that sort of thing and stuff you did. What I've also would say that we've noticed and we've experienced it firsthand, you do a good job supporting other companies in the space, not necessarily specifically belt manufacturers, but companies like ours, Lift Evil, a whole bunch of other companies that we've worked with. And, that's meaningful when you've built up a significant audience of your own. Some things you've been able to do, even like sharing things of ours, like that actually has a significant impact with us over time. That is one piece of the puzzle that allows us to build a larger following and us to have a more significant presence. So I think, there's a lot of businesses out there like us that appreciate and notice that you do
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Tanner, I remember it was like, probably 3 or 4 years ago, like when we were selling hardly nothing.
Right.
And there was one day you're like, check your email, look. And it was like 10 shirts in an hour.
Right,
it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Matt shared a post of ours. And I remember we were so jacked that day because like just having someone that had some eyes on things share something like made a big difference for us. And that was really cool. And we definitely remember those things. So thank you.
you guys are my friends, man. I mean, I spend a lot of time on my phone, not a lot of time trying to make friends locally. And you guys run an awesome business. I love your Instagram page and all of the things that you guys come out with. It's fucking fantastic. Excuse my French. And you guys, along with, there's a lot of small companies that, man, we're still small, and we were small years ago, and we all are, we're all in the same space. There's no reason for animosity towards one another. I mean, I truly appreciate what you guys do, and I hope to, come up with opportunities to help everyone, in the future.
Yeah. Awesome. For sure. Is there anything else you have or need to get out there before we wrap this one up?
No. I mean, 2020 is almost over, so we can all celebrate that. It's been a weird year.
Yes.
And I know we're ready for it to be over with. Everybody's still kind of scared what 2021 is going to bring, and I'm in the same boat. It's nerve wracking. So there's been some bright spots, and we'll hold on to those bright spots coming into the new year, and hopefully make it better than this year.
Awesome, for sure.
Be too hard.
Yeah. We'll set our goals low. We should be able to hit it that way. All right, Matt, we appreciate it. It's good catching up with you.
Absolutely, guys. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I appreciate y'all letting me on your awesome show.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matt.
And this will come out Monday, so stay tuned. It won't be long.
All right, man. I'll make sure I share it, and we'll plug you guys in a couple other things. I appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right, see you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
That was Matt. Big Matt.
That was Big Matt.
A
and
big
that was
pioneer.
also
Cool beans. Cool beans.
very cool beans.
A guest isn't really complete without the cool beans, is it?
It is never complete until the beans have dropped.
Right.
Matt, cool dude.
Yep. And he hasn't changed. He's been like from our first experiences.
Yeah.
He's been a cool dude, and he's stayed a cool dude through the And I really meant that. Like it's like once we've got, not that we have a huge presence, but we have a known presence for a lot in the community.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on Instagram,
right, and we get shared by a lot of different things anymore. And like, I still always appreciate it. It just honestly doesn't mean as much anymore.
Yeah.
But when we were very small, it didn't happen very often. So, and he was one of the first ones that like multiple times shared things of ours. And it's like, that made a significant, because it's hard digging yourself out of the
getting any traction.
Any traction. Like to get like the wheels started. And obviously it just takes time, and we applied the what's that? Said it before, just like
cockroach.
Yeah, the cockroach mentality. Yes, that we just refuse to die. But that still won't even work if we never get anything from any of these other ones with more presence than us. And he's just big, and he does it with a lot of companies besides just us too. And I see that. Yeah. One thing I wanted to say, and I was going to wait till Matt was off in case we were.
You didn't want him to get the last word in.
No, well, yeah. Nobody ever gets the last word on our show. You can save money he mentioned discounts. We are aware of a discount that a friend of the Massenomics podcast has. Yep. Brandon Campbell does have a discount code. So here
and that's as good a one as any to use.
Yeah. So we're kind of screwing Matt out of 10% here, but we're helping out Brandon because it probably helps him. So I just want to verify code basement.
Okay. That's what I was going to say.
For 10% off. Yeah. So if you listen to this and you're thinking, I do need a new Pioneer belt, use discount code basement. We don't get anything out of that, but Brandon does, and Brandon supports Massenomics, and Matt probably is happy to sell it even if it's at a 10% discount. Yeah. So it's kind of a win for everyone. Right? Yeah. And did you see, did you see, you did it, but like, I'll just say, did you see, so it sounds good for the podcast. Did you see that Brandon Campbell has a new Massenomics banner?
Only black and white Massenomics banner in existence. And it looks pretty good.
Yeah. And it is not for sale, so you can't have one.
Yeah.
But
unless you send us a DM, then we could probably get that arranged.
Right. But, at the right price.
Yeah. It does look very nice.
It does look cool.
Really
It kind of
ties
made
that
me
room
want one of
together.
those.
I know.
Did you experience that at all? Where it's
I
like,
did.
oh, that has
But
a
also,
nice
like,
look to
we're
it.
almost actually running out of wall space in the gym. Like here on out, banners are almost like it has to be a special banner to go on the wall.
That's true. And Tom Callis just sent a Callis
Did he?
barbell banner. He's got a logo where it's a skull
With the
with
beard
the
and the
long
hard hat.
beard and
Yeah.
the hard hat. Kind of a cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a cool piece of art. I think.
Yep.
I think he got that tattooed on himself.
Did he?
Made me think if I was a guy that had tattoos, I would get our Lift Hard, Live Easy skull tattooed on me. I mean, I do have a couple tattoos, and I actually want some more tattoos, but I just can't bring myself to get the tattoos. If I ever get the ball rolling on that, I would consider getting the Lift Hard, Live Easy tattoo on me because I talked about the Massenomics thing before. I don't know that could quite bring myself to just but if I'm starting to get tattoos, and then I'm more open to tattoos, I think I would get the Lift Hard, Live Easy skull tattooed on me.
That's a great place to start.
And I want someone to do it before I do so I can see how it looks. So people keep DMing and saying things about getting a Massenomics tattoo. Still hasn't happened yet. So someone needs to finally put their money with their...
It surprised me a little bit that there hasn't even been someone that has a tiny little
Let's do this. What would we actually give someone if they get a legit Massenomics tattoo? Like one of our...
What do you mean a legit, it has to be big? Or you're saying they get an actual Massenomics tattoo?
That it can't be tiny. Like what I mean legit, you have to look at it and say, that is a Massenomics tattoo.
It can't be a tiny M on the inside of your finger.
Right, it can't be that. It needs to actually be one of our logos or the Massenomics logo or something, and you don't look at it and say, that's a big tattoo, and you kind of squeaked in something Massenomics-ish. It needs to be yes, that's a Massenomics tattoo. We share it because it's look at this Massenomics
we
tattoo.
Have to get this out there.
Yeah. What would we give someone for that?
Well, I think it would be we'd have to gauge it based off our reaction.
Right. We would
for sure give somebody something for it.
Yes.
But depending
it
on
just
the reaction,
depends on what it depends on how balls out you go on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you would get something. There would be a free
compensation.
there would a reward for it, but
if you were a loved one got a Massenomics tattoo, you may be entitled to
what would we give if someone got the Lift Hard, Live Easy tattoo at least
we should get a thank you for giving them such a great idea.
That's true. That's true. What would they give us, I guess, is more the thing.
They'd give us a picture of it.
Yeah. But I do want to see a tattoo at some point in time.
I think it'll happen.
But use code BASEMENT10 to save 10% off of Pioneer belts. This was not a paid advertisement, no. But it is a paid advertisement. Our
I got a feeling.
Our advertisements are a paid advertisement. Today's episode was brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you are in the best hands possible. Use our discount code with them. It's MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps, and that'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the entire life of your membership at hybridperformancemethod.com. Speaking of Texas companies, this episode is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, and world powerlifting records.
Really, the keyword there is Massenomics. So
yeah, right.
We don't need to overstate world.
World and Massenomics.
Massenomics.
Continue to be set and broken.
Give me a hell yeah. Massenomics.
There we
go. Learn more at TexasPowerBars.com. This episode is also brought to you by Lifting Large. We learned about the Lifting Large opportunity. You could win up to $700. Be one of the 6 chosen winners there
to buy $750 worth of ground lock deadlift slippers.
yes. No, I believe you get to have your option of what you want to purchase. We just strongly suggest you get it in all ground lock deadlift slippers.
Yeah.
If someone gets a tattoo, we will buy them a pair of ground lock deadlift slippers. They'll at least get that. And they do have until they've got until January
13th, I believe.
Yeah. You've got about a couple weeks to get signed up.
2 weeks.
And they've got a form on their website where you can get signed up. We also do have a discount code with them, and it's MASS20. You can use that. It'll save you 20% at checkout. And this episode is brought to you by SPUD Inc. Straps. Their goal is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Make sure to check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. Whiplash, the Taco Monkey. Is that about all?
They switched them out for some Vikings players, you know. No, that's Pizza Ranch, not Taco John's. Pizza Ranch. I'm getting
them confused again.
Fast food places.
Did we talk about all the stuff that people need to? I'm going to read one podcast review just because I already saved it and I need to get it deleted off my phone.
Tanner.
Yep. Last one of the year. Better make it a good one.
Yep.
Can't hold anything back now.
No.
Joe Montana.
We've come too far.
This is from King Throwaway Culture, titled With Everything Going On. So, with everything going on, this podcast about nothing truly is a podcast above the rest. Making things better in real life allows for the constant and consistent podcast of sparkling water excellence. Nestled tightly in western northeast South Dakota, this may come off as goofy, but it's incredibly well done and is the highlight of my week. Getting to kick back with a piping hot bubbly allows for a true escape from reality. Easily the most elusive 10 of 10 JD Power and Associates Award winner. No one knows what they are. No one knows what they are for, but they deserve the highest ranks. Very true.
It actually, like in my head, it's very, very funny to think of someone using the words escape from reality to describe this podcast.
Yeah. Escape from reality. Escape from reality. So that's it. Follow us everywhere. Sign up for the newsletter. Become a supporting member. Watch out for the new stuff, the restocks that we've got coming.
Get on those restock notifications if you want to be in the know.
Yep. Buy a Pioneer belt. And
join the podcast, massenomics.com/join.
Become a friend. And Tommy, where do they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird, but make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.